We welcome back to the Leon Loft, Devon Gilfillian.
Dance around the mirrors that will show me on my face. Tell myself it's clearer if I only have a taste. Oh, I know that I'm running. Oh, I know that it's coming and it's catching up to me. But it feels so good to be buried underneath. Don't feed it after midnight, or maybe just take one bite. 'Cause I don't wanna starve if I don't have to. Deal with pain that leaves me stranded on the way down, falling through the gray cloud, sinking to the bottom of the ocean. Sometimes it feels better to be broken. Turning up the voices that are singing in my head, following the shadow that will lead me to the end. Oh, I feel like I'm fading. Oh, I feel like I'm chasing what's never good for me. But it feels so good to be buried underneath. Don't feed it after midnight, or maybe just take one bite. 'Cause I don't wanna starve if I don't have to. Deal with pain that leaves me stranded on the way down, falling through the gray cloud, sinking to the bottom of the ocean. Sometimes, baby, na 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 na, 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 na na na. Don't fade it after midnight, or maybe just take one bite. Ooh, don't fade it after midnight, or maybe just take one bite. 'Cause I don't wanna starve if I don't have to. Deal with pain that leaves me stranded on the way down, falling through the gray cloud, sinking to the bottom of the ocean. Sometimes, baby, oh, I feel so good to be. Oh, I feel so good to be. Yeah. Oh, I feel so good to be. Oh, I feel so good to be.
Devon Gilfillian is with us. If you're just joining us on Ann Arbor's 107.1, we are live at the Leon Loft, of course, as you can tell by the applause and the people. You know, it's interesting you mentioned that. I was just sort of thinking while you were playing that when I heard it on the album, there was that period of time, like, you thought it was going to be over quickly. Like, I remember sitting and talking to my family folks and saying, oh, yeah, all right, 3 weeks. We kind of, well, hunkered down 3 weeks, maybe a month. And then it went on, and it went on. And then everything started to be affected. Everything started falling apart.
Oh, God.
But there had to come a point. I mean, I remember, I think a lot of people did, where you just had to sink into it and kind of take that all in
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, at a certain point, I was questioning who I was, and what am I? What is my job as a musician, and why are we here? Why if I can't play live music out there, like how do I continue to connect with people and connect with fans and do this thing and that's how the whole Marvin Gaye project came up, and I was like, oh, what am I doing right now? I don't have nothing to do but hopefully maybe get Donald Trump out of office.
And so it was interesting. So that album, Black Hole Rainbow.
Yes,
we'll get to that
yes,
first. You know what?
yes.
Listen, this thing was perfectly poised. A January 2020 release.
Oh.
You had spent most of 2019 doing things like you did here. You were out on the road. You were introducing yourself and your music to people on the national level. Best laid plans, right? So it falls apart. But it seems that you found new purpose in pretty horrible circumstances. Not only was your album, it came out, but you couldn't do anything about it. You couldn't go tour it.
Yep.
It stalled you out. But amidst that year, which was awful, there was the pandemic, and there was George Floyd, and then
Yep.
there was the election, and then there was after the election, like that year. But
So many.
You know
so many
what?
things.
Bigger plans than any record company had for you.
Absolutely. And it made me look at the industry and go like, oh, like, record label or not, like I'm a musician and I'm also an artist, and part of being a musician and an artist is reflecting what's happening in the world, and what was happening in the world at the time was a lot of terrible things, a lot of injustice going on, and at that point I was like, who cares about record labels right now? Like this to me, I need to figure out how to use music as a weapon for love and joy,
And for those who don't know, so what you did before the end of 2020, you recreated What's Going On.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. I didn't do it because I didn't do it because I thought I'd do it better. That's for sure. Marvin's the GOAT. Like he's number one, right?
Yeah. But just for the joy of doing it and restating the message, and this time around with Jamila Woods and Kashana
Yeah.
and like tons of friends, not just in Nashville but elsewhere.
Yes.
You brought a lot of people. Like a lot of people wanted to get involved with that.
Absolutely, and I wanted to do this project that lifted Black artists and voices that don't usually get lifted and recognized. And some Jamila Woods, she's hot. She's getting hotter out there. But like a lot of my friends, Joy, now Joy,
Olagan.
she's killing it now. It's
Yeah.
like, but like Jason Eskridge, who to me was such an influence when I moved to Nashville. He really stirred up the soul scene in Nashville, and I wanted to bring voices together and also raise money for Equity Lions, a nonprofit in Nashville and Tennessee that fights voter suppression. And I was like, how do we do this? How do we get everyone's voices heard? And to me, it was so eye-opening in that time how many fiery hoops people have to jump through to make their voices heard and to vote. And it was just, I was like, wow, there's so many things that we have to battle, but this is so important right now. And how do we do it? All right, Marvin Gaye. That message, that album it spoke to me so crazy at that time in such a insane way. I'd learned it on acoustic after going to a George Floyd protest and broke down crying, just knowing at that moment what Marvin was seeing and trying to say, and that 50 years later it hadn't been really heard. And so that's what definitely pushed me into doing that album.
What do you want to do next?
That's a good question. I want to do another new song.
Please.
All I Really Want to Do.
Yeah.
tell me when to pick you up. I might be a little late, but there's a spot beyond the moon, and I swear it's worth the wait. Oh, baby, I just wanna get to know you, 'cause all I really wanna do is take a little trip with you and drive around the sun and take you up and over the stars. Yeah, all I really wanna do is catch a little vibe with you and take you to a place where we can be as weird as we are. That's all I really wanna do. Ooh. Aries, Pisces, Scorpio, Leo, Libra, Gemini. Which is yours? You let me know. Let's take a spin around your side. Oh yeah, baby, I just wanna get to know you, 'cause all I really wanna do is take a little trip with you and drive around the sun and take you up and over the stars. Yeah, all I really wanna do is catch a little vibe with you and take you to a place where we can be as weird as we are. That's all I really wanna do. I just wanna get to know you. Come on, baby, let me show you. All I really wanna do is take a little trip with you and drive around the sun and take you up and over the stars, baby. Yeah, all I really wanna do is catch a little vibe with you and take you to a place where we can be as weird as we are, babe. That's all I really wanna do. Ooh.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. So 4 years ago this summer when you were here, we talked about recording in Los Angeles and about record making and vinyl sounds and all that kind of fun stuff that went into that album. By the time you got around to Love You Anyway, you were a different artist than you were when you were recording Black Hole Rainbow. You were a different artist. So can you kind of paint in broad strokes what you were looking for, what you were after for this one?
You know, I feel like since Black Hole Rainbow, I learned so much about myself, and especially over the pandemic, during the pandemic, and just going to therapy and looking in the mirror and digging deeper and learning how to love myself a lot more, and that allowing me to also fall in love and start a new relationship with my partner I'm with now, and I wanted that to be part of the album, but I also wanted the album to, like during the pandemic, doing the Marvin Gaye album and just my eyes opening to what's important in this world. Why am I doing this music thing? And it's to spread love for me and hopefully bring people together. And I wanted to express my frustration with this country, but also do it in a way that wasn't villainizing and was trying to bring people together, and still pissed off a little bit, but more so trying to open people's eyes to have hard conversations, and that's what Love You Anyway is about. And I have friends and family on the opposite political side that I'm on, and at the end of the day, they're not the enemy. The politicians that are separating us are the ones we gotta point
It's the
arrows
dividers.
at.
It's the people who are dividing.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yes.
You stayed close to home. This was done in Nashville.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, because you had established yourself there, I remember at an Americana convention, years before Black Hole Rainbow, people talking about you there. You had formed a community there. There was a group of people
Yes.
who were doing this work. And I was wondering if you, through the pandemic and through this process, if you gained a newfound appreciation for these folks that really were right there.
Absolutely.
In front of you.
That is, I would say, that definitely one of the silver linings about the pandemic is just recognizing your community, recognizing your neighbors, and how much you need them, and how great Nashville is, and how much talent is there. And doing that, the What's Going On project, everybody I called, they were so down to do it in a second. They're like, they didn't even, you had me at Marvin Gaye. They're like, I'm down. and just building that community, that was so beautiful. And after that, I realized, wow, why go anywhere else other than Nashville to do this? I have everything I need here.
Yeah.
And so that was, I'm so grateful for the community that I have there.
Plus, you have to go home every night.
Yeah.
To your actual place.
Oh, it's so great. I go to my purple mattress and just lay down, and it's beautiful.
What would you like to do next?
I'm gonna do the title track, Love You Anyway, for you.
Everybody's looking for a new solution. It takes time. Every change don't have to be a revolution. But open your eyes, and I'm gonna love you anyway. And sometimes we don't even know we're burning bridges until they're on fire. And sometimes it's so easy to forget forgiveness. I'm feeling so tired. We're all broken, cracks in our hearts. Let hope in, light in the dark. And I'm gonna love you anyway. And I'm gonna love you anyway. Gonna love you anyway. Even when you turn a blind eye to my sorrow, I swallow my pride. The day will come when we won't even have tomorrow. I'll be glad that I tried to love you anyway. I'm gonna love you anyway. I'm gonna love you. scary. I know sometimes it's scary, but we all have our storms to weather. But we're all in this thing together, and I'm gonna love you anyway. I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna love you anyway. Ann Arbor, can y'all help me sing this? Come on. And I'm gonna love you anyway. Oh, y'all sound so good. Let's keep going. And I'm gonna love you anyway. Gonna love you anyway.
Wow. Listen, we do have to go back to the station, throw things back there. Hang out here for a second with us. You up for another couple of songs here in the room? Yeah? All right. Before we do, though, I have to acknowledge a couple of things while we are live broadcasting to the community. There's stuff up here on stage, and there was a sort of a community effort to get a bunch of stuff on stage. So, Chris Taylor, if you're here somewhere for bringing a guitar, thank you so much. I also want to acknowledge Alex Johnson and Karen King at the Ann Arbor Music Center. I hadn't seen them in a very long time, but they gave me that amp, which sounds lovely. Thank you so much. With an assist from Max Brown, who plays with the Warren Treaty and is also an Ann Arbor guy. He helped out.
Shout out to
in
Max.
doing that. Shout out to Max, man. Went Ann Arbor to Nashville, back to Ann Arbor. It was cool. All right, so we are going back to the radio station now, but continuing on at the Leon Loft with Devon Gilfillian. You might want to find some, kind of short to medium term rental space here in town, because you're going to be back as part of 1071 Sonic Lunch, that series, and that's going to happen on Thursday, the 27th of July, and then you're coming back again. You'll be at the Arc on Friday, September 22nd. Tickets for that show just went on sale. Yep. So you can get tickets for that show at the Arc. Those tickets just went on sale on Fridays. Devon's new album is called Love You Anyway. It's on the Fantasy label, and DevonGilfillian.com has all the information on all of that. So now back to more music on Ann Arbor's 1071. Thank you. I knew we'd be off of that in a second. So you've talked about what's going on and all of these fine people who are involved in that. Ruby Amanfu, that's another name.
Ruby.
Ruby was on there. And it was done as a project to benefit the work that you're doing with this organization about issues of voter suppression. In fact, I remember that summer. Noah, you here? Yeah. We sat up on the stage. We talked to Devon on a screen. The screen was over there, and we talked about that whole thing. I remember that. And after the election, and then, of course, between there and January 6th, and just the craziness of what's happened since then, like the pushback was huge. But you have to kind of fight even harder because the majority is with you.
Yeah.
And what you're talking about here, I'm just thinking this spring with Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, like... You live in a weird place. I'm just going to say it that way. Like
America.
Yeah.
The South.
It is interesting because Nashville is very different than the rest of the state.
Definitely.
How is it on a day-to-day, like for you day-to-day when you have to look at the state?
Nashville, I'm lucky. I feel like I'm in my own little comfy bubble when I'm in Nashville. and I'm safe, you know. I'm all right in my little bubble, but I know once I get out and about, I don't feel like, you know, I don't feel like I go out in the country and I'm gonna get like shot or anything like that, anything crazy or anything like that. But I just feel like there's this need of education, you know, throughout the South, of, you know, just to so much reversal of the, you know, the anti-voting rights peeps, you know, and there's so much work that needs to be done outside of Nashville for sure, and in the South in general. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
You have this song here, "Let the Water Flow." Like, I mean, that is very clearly. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like it was written right up to that special election
Yeah.
at the end of 2020
for the primaries, and
Yeah.
I mean, it was I wrote it right when Brian Kemp was passing laws to make it, you know, making it harder for people to vote, making it illegal for people to pass out food and water to people in line standing to vote. It's just insane to me that they don't. That's so clear, you know, the racism that's happening in Georgia, and, you know, having these crazy lines in the only black voting district in Georgia, you know, not setting these people up so that they can use their voices easily. And it's to me that when that was happening, I was furious, and that's where "Let the Water Flow" came from.
Have you continued the work? So are you still affiliated and?
Oh yeah,
working
we're
with these
still
folks, yeah.
we're still like, you know, all the vinyl sales for What's Going On, they still go towards Equity Alliance, and you know, when Justin Jones and Justin Pearson were all, you know, we're getting kicked out of the office, and, you know, I went up and went to the courthouse and sang some songs, and yeah, I'm trying to do anything possible, you know.
Yeah. Because there's another election on the way. There always is.
It's always coming. We got to get ready.
It's always coming, right? Never not vote.
Yeah,
Ever.
yes.
Like that.
You
That's
vote
what I
for
tell my kids.
everything.
Yeah, no, that's why I write. That's why I'm like, you can never not vote. Don't ever tell me you're not
Yeah.
voting, because you just can't.
Can't.
Not if you want to come back like for dinner ever.
Yeah, no, it's real. It's
Yeah.
real. We gotta use our voices.
Yeah. What would you like to do?
You know, I'm gonna do. Speaking of Marvin Gaye, I'm gonna do a little Marvin Gaye for you. Why not?
Mother, there's too many of you crying. Brother, there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Yeah. Father, we don't need to escalate. You see, war is not the answer, for only love can conquer hate. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Yeah. Picket lines and picket signs don't punish me with brutality. Come on and talk to me so you can see, yeah, what's going on, 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 what's going on. Everybody thinks we're wrong, we're wrong. Oh, but who are they to judge us? Simply 'cause our hair is long. You know we've got to find a way to bring some understanding here today. Picket lines and picket signs don't punish me with brutality. Come on and talk to me so you can see, yeah, what's going on, 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 what's going on. What's going on? Oh, what's going on? 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 What's going on?
Thank you.
So, I'm thinking about the last time we talked a little bit about your dad, who was a singer in a wedding band.
Yes.
And so he had to hear this album.
Oh yeah.
What did he think? Because that's his job. That was his job in that band, was to sort of imitate songs. It was a cover band.
Absolutely. And I feel like Marvin and Stevie Wonder were like two of my dad's North Stars, and so when I did this whole album, my dad was like, "Damn, you did a good job, man.
How nice.
You really did a good job." That's his way of saying, you did a good job, you did good.
Staying in Tennessee for just a second, we are talking here in mid-June. You're headed to Bonnaroo at the end of this week.
Oh yeah,
for the first time. As a performer,
time,
right?
For the first time as a performer. I went in 2015 as a just a bystander, just chilling, just enjoying, and we were supposed to play in 2020, pandemic. 2021 got mudded out, and then 2022 didn't happen. So now we're doing it. Now we're here.
That's great.
I'm very excited.
That's got to be very exciting, especially something that you did attend. Like in the before times, you attended from the field, mud, and you saw what was going on, and here you are. When you were there in 2015, did you have any notion that you might be able to make that leap from here to there, and how to do that?
It was like I had some friends who were in this band, Smoothhound Smith, and we went, and my buddy Taylor was playing bass for them at this, and it did like a little small tent thing at Bonnaroo, and so it was like, it's attainable. I would have been just happy if I was playing in the corner, like in front of some tents, like in the campground area. But getting to do the thing, the real, really get up on stage at Bonnaroo, I'm like, oh, this is happening. Wow. Oh my God.
Neat. That's neat. When you're in front of a festival crowd, it's sort of a different thing. Like it's harder to relate. It's just harder. Everybody's there for sort of the whole experience, not necessarily any one performance. Like it's harder to connect, right?
Oh, you got to win them. You got to win them over.
Yeah.
At a
What's
festival.
the trick?
Yeah, the trick is you got to yell at people a lot. You got to yell, "Hey, come on, move up. Fill the gap here." Like, get ready.
Yeah.
Get ready to shake your buns. All that kind of. Just got to. People listen if you yell at them sometimes.
That's right. Yeah.
I had some guy last night as I was opening for Mavis. I was talking and he's like, "Get to the song," and I was like, "Okay, here we go, my buddy. You made a mistake. Everyone's gonna know who you are now, because I'm gonna call you out." And so, I mean, you gotta show them who's boss sometimes.
Yeah. Listen, this has been a real joy. Wow, once again, thank you so much for coming. Look, my light's out. That's
you.
it. Day's over. We have time for one more. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I want to play an older tune. This one's one of the first songs that I ever wrote, and it's on my first EP, and it's called Home.
Didn't call nearly enough. And when I'm down, that's when you bring me up. When I was bad, that's when your love got tough. When all we had was a little, you made it enough. And I know you're waiting by the phone. And I know you ask me when you come in home. Yeah, yeah. I found a trail where you and your horse could ride.